go. Let's hope Kelly doesn't accidentally exit the meeting.
I made sure this time I paused and I had my cursor over continue and I was like, this is the right button.
Okay. Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast, where I just sat in like 40 minutes of traffic when it usually takes me like 25 minutes to get home.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Whatever's happening on the freeway with all the sirens and the helicopters, good luck to whoever
Yeah.
is
Hope
involved.
you're okay.
Yeah, hope you're okay. But yeah, my week was something. So let's talk about your week. How was your week, Kelly?
It was pretty good. Work. Just taking up my life. I had a pretty chill day today. I thoroughly cleaned my room today. Oh, and it's officially started fire season where I live.
Yay.
There's a fire burning a couple miles away from me. Started at 1 a.m. this morning. Still going.
Yay.
Yay.
Now everyone move out of California.
Yeah. Also, we need
I
more
will
rain and water.
Yeah, I will be staying, but everybody else can leave.
Yeah, everyone else can leave.
Everyone else can leave. So
that'll free up space for us.
Yeah. And rent will go down.
Thank God.
Let's see. As for me, work was boring. I did have today though. I did have a man with an eye patch come in and he yelled at me for something I can't say on this because it would give away where I work.
What you do, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of funny.
How so?
What? Because a man with like an eye patch came up to me. It was all like, I need blah, 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 and I need it now. And I was just like, weren't you just here last week, sir? Like, you already know the answer. But, whatever. And then he blatantly lied to me, but like, that's a completely different story. But yeah, that was fun. My work week other than that, was pretty boring. Saturday, I went to Santa Cruz. Super fun. Did you know that the fucking Did you know that the wristbands cost like $57 now?
What?
Didn't they used to be like 30?
Yeah, I thought it was like 25, 30.
I don't know what's happening.
What happened?
Y'all caught COVID and lost your damn minds.
$57
for a wristband.
Are they trying to make up for lost sales or
they
what?
They have to, because there's absolutely no reason why it should cost that much.
That's incredible.
That was insane. But on a lighter note, I got some corn dogs.
Let's go.
I wanted some loaded fries, but the line was like 50 minutes long, so I got just a burger and fries.
Yeah.
Me and Sabrina rode rides. It was fun. And then like at like 4 or 5 o'clock, we were like, it's getting so damn crowded, and we just left.
Oh, was it not crowded when you got there?
It was like okay when we got there. Like it was bearable. And then by the time we left, you were like bumping into people to like get out of places. Wasn't hardly anybody wearing a mask. It was a mess. So yeah, we were like, let's go. And so we left and we went to the mall, and I have some good news for everyone. I have some very good news for everyone.
Hit us with it.
Weather is completely back. It's back, baby.
Yeah. Let's go.
I got 2 additional candles, so now I have 6 weather candles.
Oh my gosh.
And they sell a room spray. I have a room spray now. They also have hand soaps and other stuff, but it doesn't smell like weather. It's
not as potent.
No, it's a different scent. Like it's like different, like not ingredients. What am I thinking of? What's the word I'm thinking of? Like, you know how like they have like the label and it says like what it's supposed to smell like?
Yeah.
It's completely different than the candle and the room spray. I don't
know. So they put different scents in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like, why would you mess with perfection?
Maybe they thought they were being adventurous.
That's like putting a sticker on a Ferrari. Like, why would you do that?
True.
So I gently put that back and went over to my
Gently put
candles
it
and
back.
my room spray.
So we're just sticking with the room spray and the
And the
candles.
candles. Yep.
Okay.
I will buy more later. I will.
Yeah, you will. Yeah,
Don't let
you
those
will.
motherfuckers go on sale.
Paycheck will be dedicated
Dedicated.
to Bath and Body Works.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Are you ready, Kelly?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be
Okay.
for this.
I have to put in a disclaimer. I have to give this movie a round of applause because I had to watch this in 2 sittings. I literally stopped watching it. I was like, I'll finish this tomorrow. And then tomorrow came and I didn't finish it. And then I watched it on Sunday because I
And
thought
I will,
that's when we were supposed to record.
yeah. And I will say that I started this movie watching it in regular speed. And by like 30 minutes in, I put it at 2 times speed so that it would just end quicker.
I held off my second watching so long, it switched streaming services.
Really?
I've started watching this movie on HBO Max and I finished watching it on Amazon Prime.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I legit almost had a heart attack because I had like 30 minutes left of the movie.
Yeah.
And I went on HBO Max and it was not there. And I was like, I am not paying for this movie. I was
No,
like,
absolutely
I was
not.
like, not a single cent will go into me paying for this movie. So we just won't have an ending.
Mm-mm.
Luckily, it was on Amazon Prime.
Right.
Y'all got
Because
lucky
Lord
this
knows you were
week.
not going to pay for that. Mm-hmm.
No. Especially for only 30 minutes of a movie. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
We are about to go on Wikipedia, find the last bit of it.
Yep. Okay. Let's get started. So we start off with like barely legible text on the screen.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Stating very incorrect facts about how deep in the Amazon there are giant anacondas that eat people.
And very, very scary music. Like
Yes,
it's loud and it's like the
terrifying.
typical horror movie like music.
Yes. Yeah, so these giant snakes eat people. And unlike other snakes, they are not satisfied after they eat. And if they find something else, they'll literally regurgitate what they just ate and eat that thing.
And eat it again.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Like I didn't look
Don't
it
know
up.
either.
Didn't look it up.
We are not zoologists.
Was not doing any homework for this movie. That just was not going to happen.
It was ridiculous enough as it was.
Yes. And so then we cut to a tranquil river and we see beautiful shots of the sunset over the water before we see a man on a tugboat radioing for help while the animals on his boat go crazy. He feels the boat thump, and so he starts to board up his like entrance to like the inside of his boat. Then a snake knocks the nails out from underneath the boat and breaks through the floorboards.
Yeah.
The man then breaks down the boards that he'd like just put up, and he climbs on top of the boat, shooting at the snake, but the snake is still coming for him, so he shoots himself in the head.
Yeah, he climbs up a huge pole on his boat just to kill himself.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
That's not the most ridiculous part of this movie.
It's not.
It's not. We then cut to a hotel.
Yes.
I'll say it's a hotel in the middle of the Amazon ?
Yeah. We don't know where we are. They say that, but
yeah. We then meet Terry Flores and a doctor named Stephen Kale, and they're going to be working on a documentary on a native tribe. And Dr. Kale thinks that he has found the tribe. He's like, I know exactly where these people are. And so Terry's like, bet. So the rest of the show, the rest of the crew shows up the next morning, including Terry's friend, videographer Danny Rich, the documentary's host Warren Westridge, production manager Denise Kalberg, and sound guy Gary Dixon.
Which is a Mobius variant.
Yeah, it's Owen Wilson.
It's Owen Wilson.
It's Owen Wilson.
Also, I did not take the time to learn any of these people's names.
Girl, it was if I mess up on these names, especially what is it, Danny and Gary, like, don't come for me. I'm so sorry.
I kind of know Gary because I just got it in my head that it's a Mobius variant, so I learned his name. But like Ice Cube and everybody else.
And then the guy
also, can I just say,
guy who's the host, I messed up his name almost every time I wrote it. So like, let's see if I can remember Warren.
Also, when we first meet Ice Cube, whatever his character's name is, he quotes his own song.
Oh, that happens a lot. Greeting. That happens a lot.
Yeah. Like, if you didn't know it's Ice Cube,
yeah,
you'll know it by the things that he says, the music that he listens to.
Yeah, it's Ice Cube. It's Ice Cube. Yeah, so they all head off on their boat with their guide Mateo, so that they can start filming their documentary. After they start filming, like, I guess an intro and like some wide shots, a storm comes in and they come across a man whose boat is caught in like the roots of a tree. Mm-hmm. How? It made no sense to me. Like, no one was suspicious. Like, how the fuck did you get all the way over there when the river is over? Whatever. And so Mateo sees the man and they stare at each other as if they know each other. Spoiler. But the way he's staring at him is as if he does not like him, but we'll talk about that later. We will. The next day. Yes, you heard that correctly. Oh.
Yes.
The next day. Yes. Yes. You heard that correctly. The next day. They asked what this man's name is.
Yeah.
The next day. A whole 24 hours after they found this man, they're like, "What's your name?" And then
they deserved everything that was coming for them.
We learned that his name is Mr. Cerrone, but I looked up and found out that his first name is Paul, even though they never say it in the movie. So I will be calling him. So I will be calling him Paul.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. He's from Paraguay. And although he originally wanted to be a priest, he came to the jungle to poach snakes.
Yeah.
For zoos and collectors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that right.
Yeah. He tells them that he knows where the tribe is and he'll happily take them, because they helped him.
Yes.
And so that night, everyone is relaxing on the boat, and Terry and Steven start flirting, and we find out that they used to date, even though they don't outwardly say it at all.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. No.
Ever.
A lot of what happens in this movie, it's either hinted at or said once.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's it. If you're not paying attention, you're lost. Context. If you're not paying attention, you're lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so while Terry and Steven are kissing, we cut to the jungle and an anaconda kills either a puma or a jaguar. I'm not a felinologist. I don't know.
Isn't that a cougar?
No, it didn't look like a cougar. It looked like either a jaguar or a puma.
Oh, I don't know animals.
I don't know what lives in the Amazon.
Me neither. Or the quote unquote Amazon.
I feel like cougars don't live in the Amazon. I feel like they live in the mountains. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It's a cat.
Right. It's a big cat.
It's a big cat. And then the next day, Danny and Warren get into a fight because Warren doesn't want Ice Cube to bump Ice Cube. And Paul tells Terry that they are nearing the tribe's village. They get to Shirashama. That's the name of the tribe. Yes. I'm not going to remember that, so I'm just going to continue to call them the tribe.
Yes.
I'm
That's fair.
very sorry.
Yeah, we're very sorry.
Yeah, so they get to the Shirashama totem, and Paul tells everyone about how they worship anacondas and another local legend that I can't remember. When Stephen cuts him off, saying that it's actually a legend for a different tribe. And then Paul gets butthurt and immediately asks to be dropped off.
Yeah. He sees somebody else with probably more accurate information and just like, you know what? I can't fool these people, so I'm out.
But honestly, I wouldn't want to be on a boat with Steven either. He seemed annoying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then Paul also tries to give them advice on what ridge to take in the river, but Steven's like, no, we should go this way, even though he's not from there.
Yeah.
Never been there before.
Nope. But he knows better.
Yeah. And so that night, Denise and Gary go out into the jungle to capture wild noises. I don't understand.
Yeah. Gary's like the sound guy, and I guess they wanted to get nighttime Amazon sounds. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they're out there.
Yeah. And this turns Denise on for some reason.
Yeah.
And so they start hooking up in the middle of the jungle. When Denise notices that it's gotten really quiet, like all the animals stopped making noise, which red flag.
Yes.
And then immediately after that, a wild boar comes charging at them.
Do we ever see it?
Not until they drag it on the boat.
Okay. Because when this whole thing unfolds and they said it was a boar, I was like, where?
I mean, there was like
not see any boar.
There was a little squeal, but like if you weren't paying attention,
I thought that was just something from the forest. Yeah.
If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't notice. Yeah, and then Paul literally comes out of nowhere and shoots the boar.
I don't know where this guy is at like any point in time.
Oh my gosh, he just shows up places.
He really does.
And I will talk about it later. And so when they get back, Steven declares that everyone should stay on the boat at night, and everyone agrees because duh.
Obviously, yeah.
Duh. The next day they continue on their journey, even though I thought Paul wanted off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
And a rope gets caught in the propeller, so Steven declares that he's gonna cut it out.
Which, how, by the way?
I have no idea.
Aren't propellers moving fast enough that it'll just
chop it up?
Yeah.
Not on this crappy ass boat. Yeah, and then he gets into the water not knowing anything about the water. Like he doesn't know what's in that fucking water. He's like, oh, the only thing I'm afraid of is the penis fish. And I'm just like, I'm sure that would be the least of your problems.
It really would.
Like, what if a piranha comes out? Like, what are you gonna do then, Steven?
Yeah, also, do you know what kind of like bacteria or whatever is in this water? When you go to foreign places, sometimes they tell you not
don't drink the water.
Drink the water.
We're not even allowed to drink the water in Mexico. So the Amazon, no.
Yeah, nah. Some river down in the Amazon.
Hell no.
Nah.
Yeah, so Steven then scuba dives for some reason. Like that made no sense.
Yeah. Like where did he bring that from?
Why did he need to scuba dive to cut rope off of a propeller? You just swim down there and cut it. Whatever. Yeah, and so he begins cutting off the rope while on board. Paul is staring at Terry, like hard staring.
He does that a lot in this movie, and it's unnerving every time. I hate it.
Very frightening. Yeah, and so back in the water, Steven is stung by a wasp.
Yes, you heard us correctly.
You heard that correctly. Underwater, he was stung by a wasp.
And just pay attention to the wasp, okay?
Yes.
And where it ends up.
Yes. Somehow the wasp got into his air regulator and stung him in his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, you heard that correctly. It's in his mouth when they take off his scuba diving gear.
Yes. And
just chilling in there.
Yeah, and he begins to have an allergic reaction and like starts drowning. So Gary and Danny pull him onto the boat, where Paul performs an emergency cricothyrotomy.
Yeah, he basically opens his airway.
Yeah, he cuts it open with a knife, puts a straw in there. You know, you've seen it if you've watched Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, but also I love that J-Lo, whatever her character's name is just screaming. Yeah, Terry is just screaming. He's not breathing, and no one's doing CPR.
No one's doing anything.
She's just like, he's not breathing. He's
Is
not
he just
breathing.
gonna start breathing on his own, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's just standing there looking at him like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then something very weird.
Like, Paul is the only one that really does anything.
Yeah, something really weird happens after this. Mateo starts looking at Paul as if he's suspicious of Paul. But spoiler alert, we later find out they're working together.
They're working together.
I'm very confused.
Like, maybe he was just trying to put on a show, but...
Was it not a part of the plan?
I don't know, but this man was confused for the whole movie except for when like they separate off together.
Yeah. Weird. Paul then suggests that they take the route that he wanted to take so that they could get Steven to the hospital faster. And Danny immediately is like, what are you talking about? There's something weird going on here. Weren't you leaving? Like, what's happening?
Right. Now you want to stay? What's going on?
And so they all go along with it because they don't have any other choice. Like, they don't know where they're going. So they're like, sure. Yeah. Why Mateo isn't saying anything? Who knows?
But I mean, they're partners, so I guess I understand why he wouldn't say anything.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying for this man.
Yeah, we're trying to fill in the plot holes.
Yeah, we really are.
The next morning, they come across a wall in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
Like a huge wall made out of thick tree branches.
Yeah, it's an improvised dam.
Yeah. And Paul just so happens to have dynamite.
Ooh.
And so they let Paul blow up this wall, possibly ruining the ecosystem forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eco-terrorist.
It's like someone even brought that up.
Yeah. And Terry brings it up.
And then she's like, just do it.
Yeah, he's all like, I don't care. We need to do this, this, and this. And then finally she's just like, I guess she was like outnumbered. So she was just like, okay, fine, do it. Because I think he brought up the fact that what's his name was going to die, the white guy.
But he literally never does. Like, they're out there for days.
I know.
And he literally, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
And so, yeah, he blows up the wall. And immediately after blowing it up, a bunch of snakes land on the boat. And they lose, like, all but one of their drums of oil.
Yeah, how that even happened.
Why weren't they tied up?
I mean, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, you could see the rope that was going over them, but like the chance of anything hitting it and big enough and sharp enough to cut through the rope, 1 in a million.
The only thing that landed on the boat were snakes. So did like a snake bite the rope?
Your guess is as good as mine at this point because this movie can be really ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And so Terry later confides to Danny that she doesn't trust Paul, even though she's doing everything he says.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, I don't trust him. Immediately goes out and was like, Paul, what do we do next?
What do we do now, Paul? And so they later find the boat from the beginning of the movie. And Paul takes Mateo to go check it out. And Danny tags along so that he can get footage of it. It has nothing to do with his documentary, but he's like, I'm going to go get footage of it.
For what, maybe 1 or 2 days, they don't film anything else.
Yeah. They don't film anything else until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like the sunset and the tribe. Like,
yeah.
It's going to be a crappy documentary.
A very crappy one. Yeah, and so they get on to the boat, and Paul finds a photo of the man from the beginning of the movie, himself and Mateo, holding a snake, and he takes it. He also finds ammunition and has Danny help him take it back to the boat. Mateo, meanwhile, falls off the boat and is attacked by the anaconda that breaks his back and neck before eating him whole.
And I will just say that's the jankiest CGI snake I've ever seen.
Girl, we haven't even got to the worst CGI part of the movie.
I know. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
People who haven't seen it, like, take our word for it. This is janky, and then it just goes like even worse. It goes down so much.
I thought the CGI from the snake in Buffy the Vampire Slayer was the worst CGI I'd ever seen. This might take the cake.
Yeah.
This might take the cake.
Absolutely. Because, like, at least because they had a practical part of the snake, and it looked pretty good. But the CGI snake, man,
did it look good?
It looked better than the CGI snake.
It looked like if Scary Movie was doing like a parody of this movie, that's how they would have the snake look.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's terrible. Kelly will have to post some pictures of the snake.
Yeah, I'll clip some of the stuff from the movie and post it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so Mateo falls off, gets eaten. Yay! Danny goes back for him and only finds his flashlight. So Paul then shows them a gigantic snake skin and informs them that Mateo was killed by one.
Sheesh.
He doesn't know that, but he just says it.
No, he just says it, yeah.
No one knows that. Like, no one knows at all what happened to Mateo. Like, he's gone. And so Terry's like, no, we're going to wait a night. We're going to wait for Mateo. A night, though, Terry? Yeah. A night? If you don't come back in 10 minutes, I'm leaving. Like,
right, exactly. Like, you're in the middle of nowhere with a man you clearly do not trust, and you want to wait a night?
Yeah. She's like, we're going to wait a night because I don't think he's dead. Where is he then, Terry?
Right.
Where is he?
Make it make sense.
You think he's playing hide and go seek with you?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
That night, Gary talks to Paul about teaming up to catch the anaconda. And the next morning, Paul is staring at Terry again. While she's sleeping. Gross. And when she wakes up, he informs her that Mateo never came back. And so they just move on.
Yeah, which they should have from the beginning.
Yes. Paul then kills a monkey to use as bait. And Terry finally has had enough. She finally, after he killed a monkey, she's like,
the monkey.
That's too far, Paul. We need to get out of here, Paul.
Right now, Paul.
Yeah. But Gary foolishly believes that they should listen to Paul.
Yeah.
And capture the snake. Why? Who knows?
Right.
Where did this come from? Who knows?
Like, the whole thing was just getting out of there, getting to a hospital.
Yeah.
Where does the snake come in, Gary?
Why do we care about a snake?
Right.
Yeah. Gary then starts acting like G.I. Joe, walking around with a rifle, like barking orders at people. Like insane, like weird toxic masculinity is happening here.
We're not here for it.
Not here for it at all. And then that night, Paul captures an anaconda, but did I say anaconda? An anaconda. Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. That night, Paul captures an anaconda, but it gets loose and it knocks Denise into the water. And so big, strong man Gary needs to jump in and help her.
Yes, he does.
Foolishly.
Again.
And it bit him in the ass because he ends up being killed.
Yeah, he deserves that.
And he could have been saved, but Paul stopped Terry from shooting the snake.
Which is dumb.
Yeah. Paul is insane.
Yes.
Denise then yells at Paul because it is all his fault.
It is.
And Westridge, Warren
Westwood.
Warren Westridge tries to stand up to him, but then Paul pulls out a gun and like threatens everybody.
Yeah. He goes full psycho mode.
Full psycho. He's like, I'm not even going to try to hide it anymore.
Yeah, no. He's like, I've had enough.
I've had enough. Yeah, and so we then have the worst CGI I've ever seen. The worst CGI I've ever seen in my entire life. Awful. It's literally the snake underneath the boat swimming, and inside the, like on the outside of the snake, you can see an outline of Gary's body.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. It literally looks like, shoot, what's that movie? I can't think of it right now, but it's literally just an impression of Gary's body
protruding and then, like, out of its stomach.
The snake body,
yeah,
which is very blurry for some reason.
Yes,
blurry. It's so blurry.
And the snake is not even the same color in this animation as it is in person. It's not.
It's like gray. It's like a blue gray.
Yeah, it's all bad. And the water is blue for some reason, even though the water is green.
Also, and it's supposed to be dead of night.
And it's so bright.
And it's so bright. It looks like this is happening in the middle of the day.
In like a completely different river, like Lake Tahoe. Like the water is super clear.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing my eyeballs have ever had to see.
Yeah.
And then that night, Danny and Terry come up with a plan to have Terry seduce Paul so that Danny can overpower him. But Paul...
Worst plan ever.
Terrible plan.
Terrible.
The plan at first does not work, but Warren comes out of nowhere and smacks Paul in the back of the head with a golf club, and everything works out fine.
Which, good for him.
Good for him. And so they tie up Paul and continue on to find help for Stephen, who is still
miraculously still alive.
And still unconscious.
And yes.
It's been a minimum of 3 days.
Yeah. He's in the Amazon with a hole
in his neck.
Covered by only a bandage.
For 3 days.
This man does not get infected. He doesn't get a fever or anything. He's just out.
He's just resting.
Yeah.
Multiple people have died at this point, and he is still out. It's cold.
Yeah.
Paul then finally admits to Terry that everything had been a setup.
Yes.
And that he put the wasp in Steven's air regulator because duh.
You're right. At that point, because how else would it get there? How else
would it have gotten in there? You think the manufacturer just has wasps flying in their factory?
Right. Like, oops, we forgot to take the wasp out of that one.
Oh, well.
They'll be fine.
It's probably too pressurized and they'll probably die.
Right, exactly.
And then while going down the river, they accidentally get trapped in a tree. And they have to go into the water to get the boat loose.
How they ever got trapped in the first place, I do not know.
I don't either.
It's not like the tree came out of nowhere.
Right, it was a large tree.
You're in a boat. Probably not going that fast.
No.
You clearly saw the tree.
Or was no one steering? Was no one steering the boat?
Right. Everyone was just like, you know what? Let's all collectively take a break.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We've had a hard time. Let's all take a break at the same time. And then
we're gonna have a little powwow. We're gonna lift our spirits.
Yeah. Anyone have s'mores?
Right.
Steven, wake up. You have some s'mores?
Right. Wake up. We're looking for the s'mores.
Where did you put the marshmallows, Steven?
I know you brought them. I saw you buy them at the store.
Yeah. While Warren, Terry, and Danny are working on the boat, Denise comes over to Paul with a knife to kill him, I guess.
Yeah. We don't know what her plans were,
right,
but they
what was the
included a
plan?
knife.
Yeah, but instead of killing him, she just stands there crying, and then okay. He jumps like 5 feet in the air, wraps his arms around her neck, and chokes her to death.
Just so you know, Paul is secured to
a post or something.
A post on the boat. He is sitting flat on his butt. His legs are stretched out. And this man, let's assume that I don't remember what her name is. What's her name?
Denise.
Let's just assume Denise is the average height of a woman, which is 5'4". He gets from a sitting position up to her neck.
Yes.
How? But this man has his arms tied behind a post.
Yes.
And his torso, by the way, I don't know how they tied him, but he's like there's ropes everywhere.
Yeah.
And this man gets up to, let's say, like 5'3". He jumps 5'3" from a sitting position. Like, that's not even possible. That cannot be possible.
It really isn't. So this is what happens next. Makes even less sense.
Yes.
So he pushes her into the water. The knife ends up past his feet. And remember, he is tied to this post, torso and all.
Yes.
He somehow gets the knife, somehow gets it to his back, and cuts himself loose.
Yeah.
How that happened, only God knows.
Yeah. We will never know.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
We're just gonna give you a little spoiler. The last like 30 minutes of this movie is just a bunch of stuff that does not make sense.
A whole bunch of
mess.
It's a
huge mess. It's very chaotic.
And then the Anaconda shows up out of nowhere.
And unprompted.
Unprompted. And so Terry and Danny make it back to the boat, but Warren is still in the water, so he climbs up a waterfall to escape.
Yeah, I don't know how he did that.
Don't know either.
But he does it.
When Terry and Danny get back on the boat, Paul attacks Danny, and Terry tries to stop him, but Danny ends up getting stabbed in the leg. I don't remember how that happened.
Yeah, everything at this point,
it's a blur.
It's a blur. And for some reason, like at random points in the movie, the camera work, it's very strange. There's like one scene where it doesn't make sense, where it just tilts. It just starts tilting. There's other points where like there's too many jump cuts back to back to back to make it look very actiony. But at the end of it, you're just like, I don't even remember what I saw.
Yeah, because I literally cannot tell you who stabbed Danny. It could have been either Terry or Paul, and I can't tell you which one of it.
Yeah, and at this point, there's so many like changing of hands of weapons.
Yeah.
That you don't know who ends up with what.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while all of this is happening on the boat,
there's still more.
Warren is still climbing up the waterfall, and the snake is like chasing him.
Yeah.
Like it's slithering up rock. Like it makes literally no sense.
It's climbing trees, it's going up rocks just for one guy.
Yeah, and so Warren jumps from the waterfall to try to escape from the snake, but the snake jumps and like wraps around him midair. Also bringing down a tree, which lands on the boat.
Mm-hmm. All with one snake.
Yes.
That at the beginning of the movie they said was 40 pounds.
I thought he said 40 feet.
Oh, no, you're right. But like, what did that make? I don't know, close to 100 or maybe over 100 pounds.
Yes.
And then if you accept the weight of Warren, maybe close to 3. That is not enough to take a tree down. Maybe, but no. Probably not.
No, it was a mess. Yeah, and so Warren's dead, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Rest in
And
peace. Fly high.
fly high. And the tree falls into the boat, and Danny, Paul, and Terry jump off of the boat into the water so that they don't get crushed. This sound finally wakes up Stephen.
Yes.
Literally, there have been screams,
Yes.
gunshots,
Gunshots.
uh, snakes bumping into the boat, and this
is what gets them up.
Is what gets them. And so while trying to get back on the boat, Danny is bitten by the snake. But Terry shoots it in the head before it can crush him.
Which I thought he was dead because that snake bites his face.
Yeah.
It bites his face. And when like they look at each other after the snake has bitten his face, there are 0 injuries to his face.
Do anacondas have venom?
I don't know if they've got venom or poison because there's a difference.
There was something dripping out of its mouth. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it doesn't affect you, so.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and so this, of course, angers Paul. And he tries to kill them because they didn't want to die. But then Stephen literally comes out of nowhere and darts Paul in the back with a tranquilizer.
Yeah.
And then Danny knocks him into the river. By the way,
he was not awake for the whole tranquilizer bit.
Yeah.
How did he know?
Who knows?
But yeah, this man has gotten up from his deathbed.
Yes, his like 3 days of slumber.
Yes. And like Paul grabs him by the throat and he's just bleeding from his neck. And still has enough strength to throw the trank into his back.
Yeah.
This man is holding on by a string and a prayer.
Yes.
That's literally it.
And then so Danny knocks him into the river, and since he was tranquilized, you would think he can't move, and so he would drown. Spoiler alert, he doesn't.
No.
Danny, because I thought the movie was over. It was not.
Yeah, because Danny was like, oh no, the trank didn't stick in him. I was like, does it matter? I thought the trank just had to get into you.
Yeah, it just needs to go inside. That's all that needs to happen. It doesn't need to stay inside.
Yeah, it just needs to get in you somehow.
A mess. And then, Danny and Terry take Stephen back to bed. And Danny goes to get them out of the tree. And he does. While going down the river, they come across an abandoned building and check it for fuel. Inside, they find fuel and a giant snake skin right before being knocked out by Paul. How Paul caught up to them, how he survived being tranked and then pushed into a river, we will never know.
We won't.
We'll never know. And
I don't know if the answer we get would ever make sense.
It wouldn't, ever.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's strange.
It's strange. They then wake up and Paul has them tied up and covers them in monkey blood to lure another snake to them. Are snakes attracted to blood?
I would say no.
Paul himself said at the beginning that they're attracted to heat. How would he have heated up the blood? It's not making sense to me.
Also, that Terry and Danny got some kind of weird illness.
Oh, definitely. When they got back.
They're covered in monkey blood.
Yeah.
From some type of monkey in the Amazon.
Yeah. Typhoid
Their mouths were open.
Typhoid is back, y'all.
It's back with a vengeance. Like, I don't even know.
That's the original strain of COVID right there. Huh? Yep. Yeah, and then so this somehow attracts the snake.
Yeah. And very quickly.
Very quickly. And then the snake comes and wraps around them, and Paul captures them in a net. But the snake gets loose and goes after Paul and kills him. Why does he keep trying to use a net? Like, it didn't work the first time. I don't know why he tried to do it again.
Also, I love how Paul acted like he and the snake were working together. And like he wouldn't be chased down and killed.
He was like, why are you chasing me?
Yeah, he acted so betrayed. Like the minute the snake started wrapping around him, like the look on his face.
And I have
betrayal.
Like a quick question. Who was he going to sell the snake to? This 40-foot long snake. Who was he going to sell it to?
I honestly don't know.
I can't think of a single zoo that would be like, yeah, I'll take that gigantic, unearthly snake that could jump from like 50 feet.
Private collectors? Like for like legal animals?
Where would they keep it?
I don't know.
I could see the news story right now. Millionaire eaten by giant snake.
That's another Joe Exotic.
Yeah. Hopefully not as tragic as Joe Exotic's life. Yeah, and so Danny and Terry cut themselves loose somehow. After we have to watch Paul get eaten whole. Mm-hmm. You know what it reminded me of? Have you seen It?
Do I look like I've seen It?
Why not? Okay.
Me being me.
We're going to watch It.
Oh, God.
So literally, there's a scene in It where it like opens its jaw like gigantically. And like you can see inside of its mouth. That's exactly what that scene looked like. Except in It, there's like a little light bulb in its mouth. Can't explain that to you right now. But yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of. And I literally shivered. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
Horrifying.
The snake then chases after Terry while Danny chases after the snake with an axe.
Yeah.
So I hope you got that. The snake is chasing
Terry.
Danny is chasing the
snake.
Yay.
Yeah.
When it catches up to Terry, the snake vomits out Paul.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch. And and Danny pins the snake's tail with the axe and uses some of the gas inside the building to blow up the snake while Terry escapes to the roof. Mm-hmm. The explosion causes Terry to fall a minimum of 3 stories into the river. And she's perfectly fine. She survives this. Perfectly fine. Yeah, and then an on-fire anaconda goes after her like some sort of biblical allegory. And Danny helps Terry out of the water, and they watch the snake burn to death. Yay! But also, not yay.
Minorities survive.
All the minorities survive.
And the token white man.
You get 1 point. You get 1 point.
That's the only point you get.
That's your only point. Yeah, and then the snake then jumps through the floorboards of the bridge. The snake loves to jump through floorboards. Mm-hmm. And Danny axes the snake to death for real this time. Like the snake is actually dead now.
Yes.
They then somehow get the remaining fuel, even though they blew up the building. Don't know how they got more fuel.
Yeah, because they literally use fuel to start the fire. Like those fires started by fuel, they're big.
And there was an explosion. Like it would have set the other fuel.
Yeah. It's not like you can control it.
No. Yeah, and so they take that fuel, and Terry, Danny, and Steven sail off to safety. Steven is seemingly perfectly fine now. Like just completely fine.
Cured.
And they just happen upon the tribe they were originally looking for. Yay! And they start filming these native people without their permission. Yay! The movie then ends with a shot of them riding off into the sunset.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
cliche.
it's very cliche. Are you ready for the movie facts? I have quite a few.
I was about to say these are about to get interesting.
The first one is gonna blow your mind. Like it's going to blow your mind.
Okay, hit me.
The CGI for the Anacondas cost $100,000 per second.
Per second.
Per second. Where was that money going?
Yeah, how did they see that price and be like, that's where we want to spend the money?
This was worth the money.
Yeah.
This is the final product we want.
Yeah, they saw the product and was like, 100,000 per second, worth it.
Perfect.
Worth it. Best money I've ever spent.
Julian Anderson auditioned for the role of Denise, but she lost it to Carrie Wower. Like literally, that's how you pronounce her name. Wower.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then she was offered the role of Terry, but she turned it down. She probably finally read the script.
Yeah.
It was absolutely. Like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. She's all like, this sounds fun. And then she gets the script and she's like, you know what? On second thought, maybe not.
I have a cold.
Good for her.
The anacondas in the movie attack humans, but not each other. But in real life, anacondas perform cannibalism.
Really?
Yeah, the females consume the males.
As they should.
As they should. It's just her doing that in like humans for humans.
Cannibalism?
No, just like the females like destroying the men. Like, let's do
go.
That.
Let's destroy the patriarchy.
The anacondas in the film are seen hunting in broad daylight, but they are nocturnal.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
They're also able to move from water to dry land perfectly, like with no problem. That's also not something that happens. They spend most of their time in water.
Okay.
And they are very slow on land.
Makes sense.
The exact quote is, they are cumbersome on land.
Cumbersome.
Okay. Get that Oxford degree, sir. While the character Paul Cerrone seems to recognize baby snakes in the film, he has no interest in capturing them. And his goal is to capture the adult ones, right? Yeah. In real life, it would be easier to capture the babies.
And you could capture so many more and transport them more easily.
Yes. Because following their mating season, female anacondas give birth to litters of 20 to 40 offspring, and they grow rapidly.
20 to 40?
20 to 40. He could have had a whole army of anacondas.
Yeah.
But instead, he was going after...
for the big one.
The big one. And last one. The monkey blood that Cerrone throws on Terry and Danny, it was made with jelly and plum juice.
Oh. Yum. Yeah, that's a little interesting.
A little interesting. So, it's time for the question, Kelly. Is this movie iconic?
No.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
No, like it's not even like funny iconic, like or like bad iconic. It's just this ain't it.
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Worst CGI I've ever seen. Yeah. So many plot holes.
Final Destination-esque like getting out of things or like incidents, like
girl, let's not come for Final Destination. Those first 3 movies.
Those first 3 were great. Those are gold. Yeah. Which one is the one with the big accident in the beginning? Is that 1 or 2?
That's all of them.
Is it?
What accident? Car accident?
Oh, the car accident with the water bottle.
That's the second one.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's still like my favorite like opening of a Final Destination movie. I don't know why.
Yeah. So the snakes look terrible. Yeah. The acting was pretty bad. And
the story's not great to begin with.
The story's not great. No,
Yeah,
it made little to no sense. Why everyone was just taking Paul for his word, that was weird.
Right.
Why
no
Gary,
one questioned him.
Why Gary out of nowhere wanted to just start hunting anacondas. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He was like brainwashed.
Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah. Not into it.
Why instead of going forward when Steven got hurt, instead of turning back the way they came, I'll never understand.
They would have been so much better if they just turned around. They would have been closer to civilization.
Yes. It made no sense to me. But yeah, movie's not iconic at all.
Sorry.
Don't even watch it. Just listen to this.
Yeah, unless you want to see the bad CGI snake.
You can look up YouTube or pictures. Can look it up. Save yourself. Yeah. Don't watch this movie.
You don't have to watch the full thing.
Okay, Kelly, do you have any recommendations for this week?
I do. So my first recommendation is Skate.
Why is that one of mine?
It's a good song.
It's a good song.
It's so good.
It makes me want to skate. We should go skating.
I have skates. Let's go.
I don't have any skates. I'd have to buy some skates.
But like, I cannot wait for the album. Like these two singles that they put out, bomb. I really do need that album.
I'm so happy they put out a new song because I was getting so tired of Leave the Door Open.
Me too. Like, it's a good song, but after a while, I'm just like, you know what?
They've been playing it on heavy rotation for like 5 months. I was tired.
Yeah, they were hungry for content, and then they just bled it dry.
Really dry. Could not go a day without hearing that song multiple times.
Yeah, it's like every hour on the hour.
Yes.
Leave the door open. I just hope they start playing Skate on the radio soon.
Can you call a radio station and ask them to stop playing a song?
They're like, "Hi, listener. What's your request?" I'm like, "Yeah, my request is stop.
Stop, please.
Leave the door open and
for a good 2 days. Can we just not hear that song?
Can we just like switch it with Skate? Like, is that possible?
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. You get new content anyway. New people on the radio. Let's go.
Yeah.
And my second recommendation is a throwback. It's called Never Let You Go by Third Eye Blind.
Ooh, okay.
Yep, and that's me.
Okay. Well, my first one was Skate by Silk Sonic, so go right over that. My second one is a show. It's called My Wife and Kids. It's on Hulu. It's hilarious. Please watch it. Oh, you'll probably know it. It's a classic. Yeah. Great show. Hulu has all the classics. Just go on Hulu. True. Look up My Wife and Kids. It's hilarious. They did a terrible thing in that show, but like, I'll let it go.
You'll overlook it.
I'll overlook it. They had a dark skinned girl play the daughter in the first season, and then they replaced her with a light skinned girl. But we'll let it go.
Oh, okay.
It's been like 15 years. I'll let it go. My second, I guess, third. Well, like I'll classify this as my second.
Yeah.
Is Ass Like That by Victoria Monet. Great song. Listen to it.
Got crack laced in it.
She put crack into that song. Great workout song. Great workout song. Like if you're doing squats, play this song. Do it. You'll love it. Please, I've never steered you wrong. I've only given you my best recommendations. Please listen to this song. And she has this gets released on Wednesday. If you're listening to the day this drops, tomorrow she's releasing a new song. So like be ready.
It comes out on Thursday?
It comes out on Thursday. Be ready.
Okay.
Be ready. Yeah, but that's it. You heard it here first. But that's it for us this week.
That's it.
Oh, I'm so happy we're done with that movie. Oh, I forgot to tell you. There's like this movie started like a series.
Are there sequels?
There's like 6 of them.
Oh no.
There's 6 Anaconda movies.
No thanks.
We will not be watching anymore.
We will not.
No.
Yeah.
I'm putting my foot down.
I know I'm the sequel queen, but like, nah.
No.
Nah. I'm good.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
This film series and Nicolas Cage movies, not happening. Not happening.
I'm going to make you watch like National Treasure.
I'll watch National Treasure. Anything else is not happening.
So you're not gonna watch a shoot. What's it called?
Don't you dare say Ghost Rider. I'll punch you in the face. I swear. I swear I'll punch you in the face.
I wasn't thinking Ghost Rider, but because of that reaction, I might make you watch Ghost Rider.
I'm not watching Ghost Rider. I will end this podcast.
Not National Treasure. What the hell is Willy's Wonderland?
I don't know, but we're not watching it. So
The Rock.
That movie was also terrible. I've seen that movie. It's terrible. That was my final nail in the coffin when I knew I was done watching Nicolas Cage movies.
Okay, but like Sorcerer's Apprentice.
That's also a bad movie.
It's a cute movie.
It's a bad movie, Kelly.
I liked Sorcerer's Apprentice.
When's the last time you watched it? Freshman year of high school? That movie is terrible.
No, my mom likes that movie too. We watch it like during the holidays.
Girl.
Hey.
Mama Grace, I want better for you. If you're listening, I want better for you.
Hey, she recommended the movie we're doing next week, so.
Okay.
Be nice.
Okay, as long as it's not a Nicolas Cage movie, I'm fine.
It's not a Nicolas Cage movie.
Well, then I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay,
right.
we should go.
Yeah, we should go.
I haven't seen my sister in like 2 months.
Yeah, we'll let you go.
Let me go. So, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and Instagram. They're both at SYTYI Podcast. Or you could follow us on YouTube and listen to old episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We have like 55 followers on YouTube now, or subscribers, or whatever they're called.
Let's go.
And I just uploaded our Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest episode.
Love that.
I finally was able to edit it. Finally. It took a whole week, but I got it to work. Oh my gosh. And I just finished editing Shark Tales, so hopefully that'll be up by
Shark Tale.
By like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have any movie requests, any movie stories, where you... Oh, I forgot to tell you. Someone voices the snake. Yeah. So like I was saying, I forgot to tell you.
Yes.
A man voices the snake. Like the hissing sounds, like someone is credited as voicing the snake.
You're lying.
I'm not lying, but I'm going to leave you with that. If you were that man, please email us. I have several questions starting off with... Tell us how you found... paid?
Also, how did you find a gig and why did you accept it?
Right. He probably saw that he was going to be voicing a snake. And he was like, oh, this is a kid's movie. But no, it was not a kid's movie.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but our email is sytyipodcast@gmail.com. If anyone knows that man, please have him email us. Please.
Yes, please. We just want to talk.
We just want to talk. Also, you can share us with your friends and your family. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really helps us out. Leave a little comment. 5 stars only.
Yeah. Even if you hated it, you just want the 5 stars.
Yeah, you can leave 5 stars and then cuss me out in the comments. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
you hated it so much. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's how much anger you had.
Thank you. Also, don't forget to wear your mask.
Yes, please.
Yeah, even if you're vaccinated, please wear your mask. Also, get vaccinated. Hello. Like, we've been doing this for 2 years. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, Jordan has just run out of words.
I've run out of words.
Yeah.
Literally, I went to Santa Cruz and we were packed in like sardines, and like me and Sabrina were like one of like 20 people wearing masks. What's going on? Where's the disconnect? Or is no one else watching the news?
I guess not.
Is no one else seeing the numbers? The fact that there are hospitals running out of beds again. And then Florida. Hi, Florida. Let's have a little chat. What's going on? What's going on, Florida?
It's Florida.
How are we just gonna sit here and pretend like nothing is happening? Like, your hospitals have absolutely no bedroom. They have no beds.
I mean, Florida, has Florida ever been listening this whole time?
No, but it's like gotten worse somehow, and I don't know how. Like, their governor doesn't even report numbers anymore. What's going on there?
It's one of those, like, you get your grades back and you're like, you know what, I'm just not gonna look.
I'm just not gonna look.
Just not gonna,
there are dead bodies just piling up, but you're just not gonna look. Okay. Wow. I would say I'm disappointed, but also wash your hands.
Yes.
With soap and water.
Soap, water, scrub a dub dub.
Yes. You can't just rely on hand sanitizer. That's how you create super germs. Please wash your hands. Thank you. You use hand sanitizer when you have no other choice. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're a vaccinated king or queen or person, stay iconic.
Stay iconic, yo.
Bye.
Bye.